Good evening. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Commissioner Pratt, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's okay. Did I? Sorry. Good evening. Ms. Abdullah, can I please have roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Daly? Commissioner Lopez?
Here.
Commissioner Ivan Garcia?
Here.
Vice Chair Quayle?
Here.
Commissioner Galande?
Present.
Commissioner Pratt?
Here.
Commissioner Carloni?
Here.
Chair Sherrick?
Present.
Commissioner Orlando Garcia?
Thank you. Before we move on, there's a couple of changes that we would like to make to the agenda if possible. If we have consensus from the group, we would like to, Commissioner Daly, who could not be with us this evening, asked if the commission is agreeable to move the voting to the next meeting in March. And so if we could just poll the commissioners to see if we have, or I'll poll the commissioners to see if we have an agreement with that. Is that okay with you? Sanchez Lopez? Lopez, yes?
Sure.
Yes. Commissioner Ivan Garcia?
So all the votes for this, today's agenda? Is that what it is?
For the nomination, for the new chair and vice chair,
Move it to next month.
to the March meeting.
I'm okay with that.
Commissioner Quill?
Sure.
Or Vice Chair Quill?
Yes.
Commissioner Galande?
Absolutely.
Commissioner Pratt?
Yes.
And Commissioner Carloni?
Yes.
Okay, so if we could get that agendized for the March meeting. Thank you. And we have one other request, if we could move the presentation for the Parks Master Plan to before public hearings, if we're okay with that, since we have the consultants online with Zoom. Do we have any objection with that? No? Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and say that we have a 3-minute limitation that applies to each member of the public who wishes to address the Planning Commission on any item on the agenda, excluding public hearings. There is not a limit to the number of items that may be discussed within the 3-minute time limit. Ms. Abdullah, can you have the administration of oath if we have any public speakers? Do you have any cards? No. Okay, thank you. If there is anyone wishing to speak on a matter that is not on the agenda, we would invite you to come up at this time. I don't see anyone who has a public speaking card. So we'll move to our consent calendar. Next item on the consent agenda. These items are routine in nature and may be enacted in one motion. All public and non-public hearing items will be open at one time. Any item may be discussed separately upon request of the member of the Planning Commission or a member of the public. Mic just went off. Or there we go. Are there any updates to the consent calendar by staff?
Madam Chair, no updates to the consent calendar. Thank you.
And I have, thank you. I have no one who wishes to speak on the consent calendar. Before we entertain a motion, I'd actually like to pull the motion really quick for discussion, if I can. I think we have an error on the one of the votes. It shows Orlando Garcia as voting in the affirmative, and I don't believe he was, and then the attendant shows that he is not present.
Commissioner Orlando Garcia was not at the last Planning Commission meeting, so if these minutes were for the last Planning Commission meeting, he wasn't here.
So maybe we can get that looked at
Just
and fixed and brought
change
back
the
to the
box.
March meeting.
Mhm.
Do you need a motion for that?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, I make a motion that we take a look at the attendance and the votes for the items on the on the January Planning Commission meeting and bring it back at the March meeting.
Second the motion?
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lopez?
Actually, we have a motion to take a look at the attendance and the votes. I believe there's a discrepancy. So staff can take a double glance or take another look at that and then bring it back to the March meeting. Is that yes? Okay.
Commissioner Lopez?
We would need a yes or a no. We're taking yes. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Ivan Garcia?
Yes.
Vice Chair Quayle?
Yes.
Chair Sherrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Galande?
Yes.
Commissioner Pratt?
Yes.
Commissioner Carloni?
Yes.
Vote passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll go ahead into our Parks Master Plan presentation. Just a quick reminder, we need to keep our microphones on mute while the presenter via Zoom is presenting. Thank you.
Good evening, Planning Commission. My name is Vanessa Carter. I'm the Director for the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Department. I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of this and present the presentation on the Park Master Plan. On Zoom, we
Hi,
have...
Vanessa, can you all hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
He-
I'll wait for you into, then I can.
Okay. So we are presenting the final product of our comprehensive park master plan. On Zoom, our consultant is Nilay Bhatt from Best Practice. And he will go into the presentation, which you also have a hard copy with. So Nilay, go ahead and take it over.
Great, thank you, Vanessa. She asked me to keep it short, so I promise I'll be done in 3 hours. Just kidding. This has obviously been a plan that's almost 2.5 years in the making right now. I want to give you a quick recap of that. I've obviously had a chance to speak to some of you along the way as well. So obviously a huge part of this was our public input and engagement process, which we've continued doing over a period of time as well. Not going to get into all the details, but want to give you just a quick snapshot of a few of the things. We have and continue to have a multilingual ADA accessible website, mysbparks.com. Along with that, we've had several meetings over months as well, in person, online, in English, in Spanish, in sign language as well, as we've tried to get input from the community along the way. And we've had some great input from community members of all ages and interests and abilities as well. So it's been great to see the community really engaged in sharing their input along the process. In addition to this as well, obviously a big part of this were the assessments to get a sense of where the system is currently. And our team assessed every single park, facility, amenity at a point in time, captured the inventory, captured the life cycle and just their condition as well. And Vanessa and her team are already implementing that in a number of places and parks as well as we speak. So these were all the parks that were assessed. And for every single park, there were similar maps created documenting the kinds of amenities at each of those parks. And this is what one of them looks like as well. Conditions from poor to great. Those that were, again, just poor condition and needed immediate repair were 0 to 1. Those that were all the way up to excellent condition were 4 to 5, and they were managed and tracked based on these 4 variables. So with that, as you know, a number of sites fall within range as well, as we said, 1.5 and 2.5. While we also had our partners assess the aquatics as well for a couple of the pools that were operational to get a sense as well, again, of what the conditions were and what are some recommendations, the cost of what it would take. Obviously, no surprise to you all, you know this as well. They do need significant repairs to continue to be used by the community. Obviously, it may not be a function of every single site, but maybe even prioritizing or consolidating to see which ones may be able to provide a better experience and could have a more cost-efficient way of doing so. All of this input was also then collected in a statistically valid survey that was sent only to the city residents. As part of the process based on the population, 400 is the sampling required for the statistically valid survey. We exceeded that with 419. And all this says is if any process has to be deemed reliable, I have to repeat the process multiple times and get consistent results. And this survey, the results which you will see are in a margin of error of plus or minus 4.8%. 95 out of 100 times I will get exactly that result. This was mailed to the community, English, Spanish, and if you wanted to do any other language, they could call as well. And a link to do it online, one per household. So based on that, these were the responses, the ages of all the people that lived in the household of the respondents. I mean, I don't expect, 12 and 13-year-olds to take a 6-page survey, but they were, accounted for when people were responding to the questions that were asked as well. So some key questions and responses here in terms of visitation to the parks and facilities in the last 12 months. 60% said yes, which is lower than national average of 82%. And then a majority of them said they were poor or fair. So certainly opportunity in terms of a condition, as you saw tied to our assessment as well, room for this to improve going forward. But as you know, it is going to take investment in the system as well. The number one reason that prevents people from using them more often, I don't feel safe using these parks and facilities, followed by criminal activity, followed by parks not well maintained and restrooms not open. Now, this was done at a point in time. Some of this also, and Vanessa can speak to this as well. We also had the injunction at the time as well. So some of the things that you've already taken care of now obviously weren't addressed then as well with the announced population, with the feeling of safety. But it still is something that is very much on people's minds. In terms of program participation, national average is 33. You are slightly below that with 26%. However, in this case, the majority rate you as good or excellent, only 8% say poor. So programmatically and event-wise, it certainly is more encouraging, despite the aging condition of the facilities, that the staff does a really nice job in providing programs and events that the community likes and would love to see and participate more in. The reason they don't participate, and this is, again, it's not just limited to you. This is a national thing. I don't know what is offered. 47% of all agencies, of all participants said that. Nationally, it's 33%. So lack of awareness is a much bigger challenge in San Bernardino than it is in most other agencies. It's an easier, lift and an area to address, but it's certainly one of the recommendations we're looking at with respect to marketing, branding, etc., in the plan's recommendations. And the other is tied to lack of safety, followed by old, outdated facilities, etc. Where people want to spend the money, by far, if you look at the top two, it is safety and security with fencing, security guards, cameras, etc., and then improving, maintaining existing parks as well as lighting. The three of them alone make up nearly 2/3 of all desired spending by the community. Again, tying it back to just improving what exists and creating a perception of safety and visibility for people to go to the parks and facilities. 97% say it is somewhat or very important. I would be interested in finding out who are those 3% of the people who took a 6-page survey and get towards the end of it and say, no, not really important to do parks, facilities, programs. I'm going to do the survey, but I don't think it's important. So an overwhelming majority obviously think it's very important for the city to provide that. And this is really encouraging that a 2/3 majority is willing to pay more money per month per household, anywhere from $3 to $4 all the way up to over $9 per month for the parks, trails, programs, facilities that are important to them, or to members of their household. This is a really significant number, and typically, as we look at agencies in terms of planning for future funding mechanisms, etc., if this number is less than 2/3, I've never seen a referendum pass, but otherwise, these are very encouraging numbers. And only 3% want to reduce funding for parks, recreation trails, and open space. 66%, so 22 times as many people want to increase funding as want to reduce funding as well. So again, issues and top concerns. No surprise again, homelessness and panhandling, blight, and community crime, safety, violence are by far the top three. Then you can see all the others: neighborhood amenities, economic development, spaces to play, trash, litter, so on and so forth. In light of that, usually in the survey, we have high, medium, and low priorities. In case of San Bernardino, there are no low priorities because there are so many unmet needs that the community has that all of these are either medium or high priorities only. And this is a combination of what is important to people, and from that, what is an unmet need. That is what rises to the top. So trails and connectivity, safety, lighting, walking paths in the park, small and large neighborhood parks, a community center, basically indoor recreation in general, shade, fitness areas, playgrounds, off-leash dog park, swimming pool, performing arts are all in the high priority for facility amenities. And then programmatically, adult fitness and wellness, community and cultural special events, exercise classes, senior programs, outdoor environmental nature camps, mental health, programs for at-risk youth, etc., all make up the high priorities here as well. So a number of these obviously can happen in a few select indoor recreation spaces, but you need to have business plans done for all of those. You need well. And so those are the people department, etc., with input from the staff, sense of what does the community have today. And with school district amenities, these were counted at 25% of available capacity based on the actual hours that the city residents have access to versus simply the existence of inventory. That gives a current service level population. Looking at recommended levels, this gives a sense of over 10 years, what might be the needs that exist. You can see for neighborhood and community parkland, there's a need. There's need for trails, pickleball courts. You have enough diamond fields, but there's a much higher need for multi-purpose rectangular fields, baseball, flag football, soccer, lacrosse, etc. as well. Rental pavilions, splash pads, and so on as well. So these are all the different kinds of needs that exist. And what we've then done is map them using GIS across the city to show gaps in access to the community so that you know what the quality and the condition is. With this, you know what the quantity is, and the last will show where the access is or is not. So based on that, you can see for every amenity type, this is neighborhood parks on your left. You can see areas where there's overlap. You can see areas where there are gaps. And then you can see where there are gaps in neighborhood parks. In some cases, we have community parks, let's say like Seckham Lake, for example, as well. That's helping sort of cover some of the gaps as well in certain areas too. And so those are, as we look at future land acquisition, as we look at future development, this might give a good sense of where the community's unmet needs might be. Similarly, with dog parks, skate parks as well, you can see where you have them and where you don't. Diamond fields, again, a number of areas with overlaps, with others with gaps, and the different colors indicate the different service providers, in this case, the schools. Same with multi-purpose fields, overlap in certain areas as well, and then significant gaps in the others. Pickleball courts, again, a shortage as well. Tennis courts, some more overlap and areas of gaps. And then again, a number of pools, some of them not really open and fully accessible. And again, as you go forward with some of these areas as well, splash pads as well as indoor recreation space, you see a lot of small circles and smaller buildings for indoor recreation, but not too many really large multi-purpose community rec centers, which is what more and more places are looking for and wanting as well. So all of this then led to conversation with the staff and input to get a sense of what are the core values and what are the major priorities for the staff to work towards in terms of a living, breathing action plan, in terms of the overall master plan. And that led to these 4 core values that staff came up with as well: service, accountability, fun, and excellence. That is what they want to have guide what they do going forward. And then these were the 5 overarching high-level moves, obviously enhancing safety security, looking at increasing funding for both internal operations and just growing the team as well. Obviously, your facilities also need upgrades and renovations, investing in staff growth, training, development, and compensation to retain the staff you have and attract good staff going forward. Also, as new parks are being developed and upgraded, you can do more and more with less and less or the same number of people, so growing staff as well. And then as you saw, lack of awareness was a big challenge as well. So strengthening branding and awareness and community engagement as a way to let more people know, which will result in more people participating. The more people participate, the more visible it is in the parks and the facilities, the more eyes you have, the more safe it feels for parents and others to send their kids or to participate as well. So in a nutshell, this is sort of a quick recap of the findings, the assessment, the levels of service, the mapping, and the major moves driven with staff input. Working with Vanessa on final funding and revenue strategies and CIP numbers as well. And really then next month, bringing the draft and final plan for presentation to the community council and ultimately the adoption as well. So I've said a lot. I'm going to pause as well and see if there are any questions or comments. Happy to answer them as well as appropriate.
I do have a question. First of all, I'd like to know how many individuals are in your department? How many people do you have working in that Parks Department?
Are you referring to the department itself?
Yeah,
Right.
how large of a staff do you have working that
Right.
maintains these parks?
Right now, the Parks and Recreation Department has 27 full-time employees, including myself, and we have just over 100 part-time employees throughout the several divisions that we have in our department.
Okay, so it'd probably be safe to say, or you correct me if I'm wrong, that each one of these parks is visited daily?
Yes.
Okay. When there are homeless people and graffiti at the parks, why does it seem to take so long to get it cleaned up and cleared out?
That is also overseen by the Public Works Department, the graffiti abatement, the graffiti division, as well as the parks landscaping, the operations and maintenance of the Public Works. We work collaboratively with the Public Works Department, and so
Okay.
we as staff, if there's a community center at a park locations such as Ladle Creek Park, Ladle Creek Community Center is at Ladle Creek Park, and if there's anything in and around the park, city staff are to report any issues there, or if they driving from one location to the other. So we do have a reporting system that we share also internally with our departments.
Okay, the majority, or what I've noticed in this report, it seems as though the responses back with this survey indicate that people are somewhat afraid or for their safety or afraid to visit the parks because of safety reasons, maybe whatever it is. So if an effort is put forth to clean those things up quicker, that might change that feeling.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And to clarify, the initial start of the Park Master Plan began in March, April of 2023, and the city was still in the injunction at that time. So as community input, as community and surveying were going out, we had the inundation of unhoused individuals at various parks and specific larger parks where it was compacted. And since then, if you move forward to today, parks have been cleaned up. We have contracted security through our police department, ongoing facilitation, and we also have the peace team, and we work collaboratively with the sheriff department and Salvation Army. So there's a lot of ongoing resources and services. Is it perfect? Is it, fully safe? No, but we also are working collaboratively with projects, with Public Works, identifying lighting, accessibility. Those types of things are being addressed as daily.
okay, well, thank you. I think that's a really thorough survey, and it looks like there's information in here that if you take it in consideration and use it properly, that we can certainly change some things as far as the safety, lighting, or whatever it might be. So
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have other questions?
I have a couple of questions. How many people were surveyed again? Did you say that? There were 400? 413, okay. Now,
So
is
the actual response
Yeah.
was 419, but usually about 10% response, so about 4,000 plus surveys were sent out.
I got you. Okay, good. Thank you so much. And because of the fact that this was presented back in 2023, are there any plans to do another survey? Because I know, like you had mentioned, Vanessa, that there have been some significant positive changes with a lot of the parks. I know in my community, I see park rangers out often, and it looks great. But I was just curious to know, is there any plans on the horizon to do the survey again?
We
So
do.
these are typically
go ahead.
recommended every 5 years, Vanessa, but, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead first, and then I can follow up.
Yeah, so for the statistically valid survey, because it obviously is a fairly expensive process, it's recommended to do it once every 5 years. And the challenge is, as you pointed out, it is a point in time. And so especially agencies where they have worked on something and already been, trying to improve things like you have been, that is, again, because it's a point in time, it may not be fully reflective of your current realities.
Okay, and then my next question, maybe this is just a curious question, because I'm in the 5th Ward, and at the community center, currently it's just a modular. What are the plans to implement possibly an actual building? It's a great location for a nice building to go in place versus a modular.
So with that, assessments would have to be done, and locations. I know that there was conversations about that. There's ongoing conversations about it. Excuse me. Sorry. And in terms of access to specific funding sources, then in certain areas of Ward 5, may not be, certain funding may not be available for certain location based off of the census tract. And so we have, we look at all elements and analyze all elements of those natures. It's not off the table. It's definitely a constant conversation. But a full, depending on, at our average estimated cost, say, for a 20,000 square foot facility, is averaging probably about 10 to 15 million, depending on
goodness.
the amenities and the infrastructure on it. So funding, that's what our part of this, and the completion of it is developing a strategic plan and a business plan, as well as a priority list is to go along with it.
Yeah, I know they're doing a lot of building over there. because I'm in that community.
Mhm.
And so have you all worked with some of the developers and maybe talked to them about what they're willing to contribute in those areas?
We're working on that, right, Gabriel?
Commissioner Galante, now, part of, whenever somebody does a track map, for example, they can either provide land or pay a fee in lieu. So we have there should be some funding collected from those developers, and there'll be some that are actually willing to either donate the land or provide a building based on the type of relationship they would like to have with that community. So I don't know the history of this particular site that you have, but I know that area has come into a lot of discussion very, very recently as to how to transition that area into a more robust entertainment destination, not just for the parks, but, you know, the soccer fields and things of that nature. So, yeah, so there's probably something good on the horizon coming.
And my last question, I don't want to hold everyone up from being able to speak. I know that Councilwoman Canas, she was really working hard when she first came on board. I think it's been a year now. One of her first top priorities was to get some type of, what do you call it, just a minor Band-Aid, I guess you could say, fix for that park, Tom Minor, because when she had gone, I guess, to request additional funding, it was just wasn't there, right? So she did her best. We have some wood chips, which is good, but some of the equipment there is just not suitable still in the condition for me, even with my son going down there. Oftentimes I'm nervous. There's things that are broken, you know, and whatnot. So what are we doing to address those immediate emergency concerns? If you see something that's broken, like the climbing little thing that the kids get on, there's parts that are missing, there's chips that are broken off of the slides and so forth. I know that at one time they had it fenced off for quite a while, and people were just letting their kids jump over the fence and still play, right? And so it's just not safe. What are we planning on doing in those situations?
Each site and location is being assessed, and that part of it's, if you've seen the data that was presented here, it shows the ratings and rankings of each of the amenities as well. That's at each of our park locations. So we there's a lot of parks and a lot of playgrounds and a lot of amenities, so it's going to take us some time to make those priority lists and look at the safety. Tom Minor Park is on one of the projects list. It's a process of doing the scope of work and if there's consultants and what the process is and what the actual estimated cost is of, you know, can we repair or is it a complete replacement? If it's and then there's a different cost associated by repair versus replacement. So everything is being looked at and addressed and analyzed and putting on a priority list. If it's a complete safety element, we can do an immediate site walk and determine that safety element, and if we feel that it's needs to be closed off again, and we could address it in that nature.
Maybe I shouldn't have opened my mouth, but I did, because it was closed down for like 3 years. It was closed down, or maybe 2. I don't want to exaggerate here, for a long, long time. So I'm hoping that doesn't have to happen again.
But the processing of doing RFQ, put for a vendor, you know, there's specific time frame that the RFQ has to be open and submitted, reviewed. So there's multiple sequence of events that has to occur for any awarding and having to go to council as well to provide direction to staff to award said contract or vendor and then come in and all the process. So what one may think would be a 30 to 60 day process in actuality are sometimes anywhere from 6 months to a year, if not more.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sanchez Lopez.
What is your overall, or your department's overall city budget for this year? And what different funding sources do they come from? Is it 100% from the city?
So our department is just over, including staff, personnel, just over 11 million. And majority is general fund. We do have some grant-funded positions, full-time, that is a match from the county and County of Aging Services, as well as AmeriCorps. And then we also have, as far as funding for some projects, we are always looking for grants, programs that can help with offsetting costs for projects.
The funding for the projects, are they primarily grant funded, or do they come just from the general fund?
Several of the projects right now are ARPA projects, CDBG. We have Measure S funding, cultural development. We have land acquisition. There's I'm trying to remember all the the funding, but we have probably about 12 to 15 different funding sources, but it's not just our department as well.
So it's, well, like anything else, it's limited funding.
Mhm.
How do you go about to determine which park needs more, or what project needs more, what project needs less?
It's part of this, the park master plan is to identify the ranking of the, of each site and facility, and doing an assessment of it, as well as the safety and concerns, what needs to be addressed. And if some elements are, can be addressed internally and be with the capacity and resources of city employees, we will look at that. If it's something that requires, if there's any environmental action that needs to happen, a lot of our facilities are, built, before 1980. And so we have to look at asbestos or any other elements, environmental elements that have to take place. So if we have to do that scope, that changes the programmatic of items. And that's how we create that urgency list as well.
And by what method do you alert the public as to what project you're going to be doing? And there's, especially, I would think they'd be interested in knowing what projects in their neighborhoods are going to be occurring. Sometimes I don't hear anything about any of the projects or any of the parks within the distance that I live from.
Mhm.
So by what method do you inform the public as to what project is going to be done?
In recent past, we've had press releases go out. We share information through our digital and on occasion printed brochure with updated CIP projects. I'm trying to think. Some have, I can honestly say, haven't been fully communicated as far as to the public, as if there's a park, a ball field or a lighting replacement at a park. They're not always all fully publicized, to say that.
Okay, because I noticed in one of the surveys it asked about, I guess, the services, and there was a whole percentage of, I don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
So,
And that's one of our top 5 priorities, is to have more community engagement and develop more of a branding for our department to share the information with our community.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Garcia?
I have a couple of questions. My first question was, does the Park and Recs have any standards, like such as playgrounds, benches, trash cans, or any specific equipment that is installed within the parks?
Standard as to,
Like a slide playground, like a specific manufacturer, bench, a design. Because I've worked on previous projects where sometimes they have standards and they use them across like different parks. So I was just wondering,
We don't have a specific standard across, like, every park has to have the same type of playground. For me personally, in the profession, not always best to design that way. Designed by the park size and the community needs, in addition to what is current trends and accessibility as well. Accessibility is a big key and element in a lot of adaptive programming is being incorporated into a lot of the thought of when it comes to infrastructure changes.
my next question is, as far as this parks master plan, is there any collaboration with like SB County, Parks and Recs commissioners? Have they provided any input regarding the master plan? Because it's my understanding there hasn't been any Parks Recreation Commission meeting. I've brought that up to city staff.
Presenting as far as Neely, we communicated prior with the Esprit County Parks and Rec Department. Hold on, he's.
That's something you can answer, Vanessa, while we try to get the consultant back online.
Sorry, there are certain elements of the park master plan when it initially started. I, at the time, was the manager at the time. So they know that there were several conversations and meetings with school district and county as well. And I'm 99% positive that there was discussions with the director at that time with the director of the San Bernardino County Parks and Rec Department.
We have the consultant back. Is there anything
that is correct. Yes, that is correct. We did speak with the San Bernardino County leadership as well at the time, as Vanessa mentioned. So we have been in conversation with them.
Okay, and my next question is, so once this master plan is finalized, and it's approved, what's next? And as part of this plan, do we have a budget, an estimate, what it's going to cost for the repairs, alterations, improvements? Now that we have the survey, or is that the next step?
He froze again, but yes, that is. So this is a living document, and the park master plan is tailored for
both in terms of what it's going to cost on one hand.
So, Neely, go ahead and repeat. You got frozen.
I was fixing and speaking to the things that we've identified need to be upgraded or developed. And the other side parallel is other funding strategies beyond what you currently have to help offset what those costs might be. So that really is the implementation portion once you get the plan adopted.
And my last question, again, is for the commissioners on the park and recs, have they had an opportunity to provide their input? Again, I'm just saying, I brought this up in the past and a couple years back. I don't think we're having regular Parks and Rec commissioning meetings. I just wanted to know, like, what was the takeaway or comments that they provided on this master plan?
So they, both advisory commissions under the Parks and Rec Department, as part of the process, they were involved in it. They've been involved. And in fact, this presentation is going to be presented at the next quorum meeting for both commissions. So yes, hasn't had an opportunity. We've also been having conversations with directors from other departments as well as city council and city manager's office.
I have one more question. Sorry. Okay, in regards to what she had mentioned around communication, the signage, there's lots of signs that are up at some of these parks. So for example, at Lido Creek, it said that it was going to be completed, estimated, I think, summer 2025. And then Succumbe, it says spring 2026. Tom Minor has a sign up as well that says, I think, summer of 2026 completion. So that sounds as though the plan's already been put together and money's been decided upon, or the signs just going up for, why are the signs going up if there's no plan set up to move forward? That's what I want to know.
The existing projects that transpired or were implemented a year, 2 years, or even in some cases 3 years ago, part of, if they're an existing project, specifically Second Lake, part of the requirements because of the funding sources has to be posted to the public that this site is a project site. So that's just legality, especially if there's any grant ties to it. They also have to be posted in some cases for an extension of 3 to 5 years after the completion of the project, so the public is aware that funding was used for this specific site and facility or park, and why and how the funding was used. Yes, there are existing, we have tentative completion dates, but in the construction world, nothing is always by completion date.
Yeah, because
So-
I drove by Succumbe and
It's still in construction, and we will, within the next 30 to 45 days, we will have additional information to share about that project specifically. But at this time, can't disclose it until we have final elements to that we can share that. As far as Lido Creek Park or Lido Creek Community Center, we've had administrative changes, and so it's pause play of projects, and so we are having a consultant. We just had an RFQ for architectural design for the Lido Creek Community Center. So things are moving forward, not at the pace that some may think should be.
is there any way to maybe communicate that to the public and just let us know your percentage of completion? So we're 10% done, we're 30% done, just to kind of give people an idea of what's happening? Because what I see is nothing happening at Tom Minor, and the sign went up. I'm like, wow, there's a sign up, and it says it's going to be completed spring of 2026. How is that?
Right,
Almost in
and
spring.
some locations would probably best not to have a sign until we have more concrete and details. Again, with specifically Tom Meyer, we're still developing a scope and what that would be, and to determine the full cost. Also having to have the conversations with certain individuals to see if the scope of work is within the means within the community.
Yes, thank you. I have no more questions.
Through the chair, I have another question. It came to mind as we were discussing and reading this report, that the city of San Bernardino, we have 8 swimming pools in our parks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, I've traveled around at summertime, and I'm kind of bothered because I don't see activity at those swimming pools daily. So are the pools going to be operational this summer?
Not all pools will be operational for various reasons, one being the infrastructure of some pool site locations. They are not adequate to have programming. And second is, in order to operate programming, we need staffing, and it's a nationwide shortage of lifeguards. Not everybody wants to be a lifeguard these days. So that's one of pretty much the number one reason why we have some of our pools are not being operated because of staffing levels.
So when you need a lifeguard, you run an ad and try and hire one through the city? Do you reach out to the colleges or
Yes,
even
sir.
the schools and
Yes, sir.
see if they have somebody, some volunteer perhaps?
We do it all.
It's a shame to see those pools vacant on some of those hot summer days. And another thing I notice here too, group rental pavilions. I've been out of town at other parks where they actually rent out the areas, and it's quite a good revenue stream, I would imagine.
We advertise our, if there is a park that has a pavilion, and as well as there's a restroom affiliate at there. We do our, several parks are pretty much rented every weekend.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, could there be more? Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Maybe we could expand that program. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I just have one comment. When this planning commission had kind of like a study session or a discussion, I made the comment that when there are alterations or construction being done at the parks, that hopefully the other departments use that as a way to also maintain the streets, or code enforcement goes out at the same time, maybe Public Works goes out at the same time, so that there's a collaborative effort in that neighborhood. And I just would hope that when we're doing these repairs or modifications and constructions at the parks, that the other departments are following suit within that neighborhood. So that's my comment to that. Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments?
I just have one brief comment.
Commissioner Pratt.
I would just like to point out that completion signs imply that deadlines are set. And if we're not putting them up to avoid showing that we're not meeting deadlines, that's not a solution. That's exacerbating an existing problem. So I don't know if it would be in the purview of this commission, probably not. But what do we do to identify what the obstacles are? Construction delays, repair delays, whatever. I don't know, that may be within the purview of the Parks and Rec Commission to work on that, so that we can, make progress in meeting these deadlines instead of not putting our signs up out of fear of not meeting them. And this is, I know that if you guys had all the resources at your disposal, this would get done, Ricky Tick. I am not shaking a stick at you. I'm just saying that there's obviously obstacles that need to be identified.
Thank you. If there's no further comments or questions, we'll hand it back over to you for closure.
Nile, do you have anything else to end with?
No, nothing else. Just appreciate the input and the support, and we'll be back in front of the community as well to share this similar version and then to the council. So thank you all again.
Thank you.
I have a comment. I know it's hard, you spread the budget and everything, but I think you guys are doing a good job so far, because I get the booklet twice a year, I think. It comes with all the schedule of all the activities. I signed up for 2 of the activities every year. I attend the concerts in the summer. The neighborhood association uses the park for the pickleball contest, which you guys co-sponsored with us. And so there's many activities that I know of that we just need to communicate with other people, everyday people. But I think you guys are doing a good job so far. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, it's a community collaborative partnership effort across the board. And one of my goals is to continue growing those collaborations and getting out in the community, because social media, technology only goes so far. Communication and face-to-face goes further. So I do appreciate that, and thank you.
And the online registration is a little bit difficult for me to follow. I always go to the office and sign up for all for the programs that I'm going to go for.
Yes.
But I found it a little hard, not user-friendly when I first went on it.
And so I scratched it, and I just went down to the office and did it there, so.
Yeah, we well aware of that, and that's something that gonna work on. A new software means more money, so everything comes with the cost these days. But I do appreciate and thank Director Gabriel Elliott, as well as you as commission, for allowing us to be and present this to you and share this. We're not done. It's an ongoing, like I said, it's an ongoing collaborative effort, and this is a live document. So as we come to completion with elements, and we will continue working on this together. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you. We'll go ahead and move into our public hearing items. The Planning Commission will first hear a report from staff, and then the public hearing will be opened. The applicant will have an opportunity to speak. Next, members of the public will be allowed to speak. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak must be sworn in and fill out a request to speak form. The forms are located on the table near the door. When your name is called, come forward and speak your name into the microphone. Say and spell your name for the taped record. After all have spoken, the applicant will be allowed to respond. The public hearing will then be closed, and Planning Commission will begin deliberations and make a decision. All decisions except general plan amendments and municipal code amendments are final actions unless an appeal is filed and fees paid within 15 days to the Community Development and Housing Department. If you challenge the resulting action of the Planning Commission in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at the public hearing described in this agenda or in written correspondence delivered to the Community Development and Housing Department at or before the public hearing. We'll go ahead and move on to item number 3.
Good evening. My name is Michael Yarbrough. I'm one of the real property managers here with the city of San Bernardino, one of two, and I'm here to present street vacation 1530-443, which is a portion of Parley Avenue north of West Foothill. The proposed street vacation is approximately 873 square feet of right-of-way, and the northern portion of the street is not included because it was not included in the initial vacation and must be vacated to ensure consistency and accuracy. Here's a location map of the proposed street vacation. It's already approved by council. The map shows the area that's needed to complete the full take of the property or full vacation of the property. And here's a aerial map showing that little red square there. That's the street vacation that's needed right now at this point, right at Parley and Foothill. Okay, this proposed street vacation is consistent with the general plan, and the planning staff has concluded that the vacation is categorically exempt from CEQA, and there's no significant environmental impact. Utility companies were notified, and there's no request to reserve utilities were received, and notice of this hearing was published. Okay, recommendation is to adopt resolution 2026-004 of the Planning Commission of the City of San Bernardino, forwarding a finding of conformity with the city's general plan for street vacation, and that's vacation number 15.30-443, based on findings of fact, to the mayor and city council when finding that the project is categorically exempt from CEQA, and which is California Environmental Quality Act, but you already know that. Item 4. Okay, we're going to stop there.
We're going to stop there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation. I'll go
Sure.
ahead and open the public hearing now. It is 7 o'clock. Do we have any public speakers on this item, Ms. Abdullah?
We do not.
Okay, thank you. If not, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 7 o'clock and take it back to the Planning Commission for discussion and a motion. Do we have any discussion topics or a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Ivan Garcia,
Yes.
Vice Chair Quayle,
Yes.
Chair Sherrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Galande,
Yes.
Commissioner Pratt,
Yes.
Commissioner Carloni.
Yes.
Vote passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and move to item number 4 now.
Thank you. Okay, item number 4, another street vacation. Is vacation number 15.30-444. It's to vacate a portion of Victoria Avenue north of Linwood Drive, right within the casino area, right by the parking structure. Okay, this proposed street vacation consists of approximately 1.052 acres of right-of-way in the area due to the Yahwatam of San Manuel Nation as part of its operation of the Yamava Resort and Casino. It has been significantly improved and provides 100% of the maintenance the tribe does to the section of Victoria Avenue north of the signal at East Linwood Drive. And it's not a through street. Its only destination is north of East Linwood Drive, right into the casino itself. Here's a map that shows the location of the area, the 1.052 acres that is requested for vacation. Like I said, it's all maintained, and this will complete the process in the sense of planning. Here's an aerial view of the same area. Okay, so the analysis is that the proposed street vacation is consistent with the general plan. Planning staff concluded that proposed vacation is categorically exempt from CEQA again because there's no significant impact to the environment. Utility companies were notified. SoCal Gas, East Valley Water District to reserve utilities were received, and notice of this hearing was published. So recommendation is that you adopt the resolution number 2026-005 of the Planning Commission of the City of San Bernardino, forwarding a finding of conformity with the city's general plan for street vacation number 15.30-444, based on finding of facts to the Mayor, City Council, and finding that the project is categorically exempt from CEQA. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and now open the public hearing. It is 7:03 p.m. Do we have any speakers for this item, Ms. Abdullah?
No, we do not.
Thank you. I have a question. There is an attachment to this staff report from the Illumination Health and Home Letter. Is that a separate?
Madam Chair, no, that particular is just informational because it has nothing to do with this particular
With this item. Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
Thank you. No public comments. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:03. And take it back to the Planning Commission for discussion and a motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Carloni. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Roll call, please.
Chair, can we just get clarification? Was the motion to approve staff's recommendation?
Motion to approve 2026-004.
Thank you. If we're not speaking, where am I turning off? So we have a first and a second. We'll go ahead and do roll call.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Ivan Garcia,
Yes.
Vice Chair Quayle,
Yes.
Chair Sherrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Galande.
Were you going to say something?
Commissioner Carloni, you said resolution 2026-004. Do you mean 005? Because the earlier one was 004.
Yes.
Could you amend your motion?
Yes.
5.
5.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner Pratt,
Yes.
Commissioner Carloni.
Yes.
Vote passes unanimously.
Thank you. That is the end of our public hearings. We have a Planning Commission Academy for discussion.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the Planning Commission. We had discussed the Planning Commission Academy, I think at the last Planning Commission meeting, I sent out an email about the availability of the Planning Commission Academy. It just so happens coincidentally that our attorney will be having a session at this particular academy. But I think it's a good training opportunity for our commissioners. And so far, I have offers from 2 commissioners. We have funding this time to send commissioners to this academy. So if you're willing to go, if your schedule does allow for it, we have some available funds. So far, Commissioner Garcia and Commissioner Galante have been the only 2 that have requested to attend. So,
Can you confirm the dates? Do you have that off the top of your head?
Albert is going to look that up.
It's Wednesday, March 11th through Friday, March 13th, and it's going to be held at the Sheraton Park Hotel in Anaheim.
So it's actually, we can call that local.
Close, yes.
So, and we'll cover your expenses.
And when do you need to know by?
Registration deadline, I have to ask Brenda what the registration deadline is, but we want to make sure that you make the deadline before we, I would say as soon as you can make a determination as to your availability, that would be fine.
Thank you. And
Oh, I was going to ask, and what dates are those for the academy?
March 11th through 13th in Anaheim.
Okay,
Mhm.
in Anaheim.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
think,
I beg your pardon?
You can put me down if you're
Oh.
still taking names.
Great, okay,
Okay, I'm available those days.
very good.
Those are from 8 to 5, I guess, all day?
Mhm.
Okay.
The Friday, I think, is usually just half day.
Yeah.
thank you. We have item number 7, downtown specific plan update.
Yes, Madam Chair, we had, at the request of the Planning Commission, we sent out the downtown specific plan to commissioners for you to have some time to familiarize yourself with the document. I'm not expecting any feedback at this meeting, but if you do have some, let us know, because one of the reasons why we're doing this is to get feedback from the commissioners, and the downtown specific plan was one of those that was specifically requested by the commissioners for, for discussion. So if you have any available information, updates, recommendations, you can forward those to me. If you don't want to do it during a meeting session like this, you can send it to me by email, but that's why we sent it out to you.
Thank you. Do we have any comments tonight? Commissioner Garcia?
I just wanted to make a comment. I think it would be a good idea if we had local businesses input on this, like have them complete a survey or really
On which one are you referring
on
to?
the downtown specific plan.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there was actually a group, I don't remember what they were called, that was actually a committee that was responsible for some of the contents of the downtown specific plan. Now, the consultant wrote it, but I think there was a downtown business group or some other group that actually had an input as to what they would like to see in a downtown area.
And I just wanted to mention, I think it would be ideal if at minimum, let's just say there's 100 businesses in downtown, at least get 50% of that input. Because those businesses are very familiar with the downtown, then I think they can give us better ideas or their vision of what they would like to see in downtown.
I mean, as far as the specific plan is concerned, their inputs were incorporated. Now, since then, there have been other groups in the downtown area that have expressed other concerns with other things not related to the specific plan itself, and we're working on those simultaneously. But as far as the specific plan itself, it wasn't something that was done, without the collaboration of the downtown business owners. But I do remember there was actually a committee that was set up for the downtown specific plan to be put together.
And then just the last thing that I wanted to mention on it was I think it would be a good idea as well if our staff reached out to other cities maybe City of Palm Springs, City of Riverside, City of Fontana, to share maybe some lessons learned on their development of what's worked for them, or maybe any other cities.
Yeah, I think the downtown in and of itself has a feel to it. But I think what goes into the downtown is something that should be individual to a community. What is of value to San Bernardino may not be the same value to Palm Springs, because Palm Springs has a high tourism, is a high tourism destination. We want our downtown to have at least some vibrancy to it. We want to bring life back to the downtown area. I mean, that's been the goal of every person, every business owner. They want to be safe. They want additional lighting. In order for us to do that, there has to be a trigger point. We have to be able to revitalize the downtown. We have to energize the downtown. We have to want people to come to the downtown. And by adopting the plan itself, we can begin to attract opportunities to the downtown area. It only takes one project. And I think once we get successful with that one project, you're going to see a transition. All the buildings that have been boarded up will be unboarded. People that are feeling not very safe at night will feel safer at night. So it's going to be an ongoing process, but I can guarantee you that by the time we get this document implemented, it would be a different environment in the downtown area.
Yes, Vice Chair Kuo.
Yeah, all due respect to the new downtown plan, I probably sat through a dozen downtown plans, and I think the vision sometimes is not exactly what people understand San Bernardino to be. There was a music corridor downtown on Court Street. There was vibrant businesses down there before, and people enjoyed going downtown. But since we've had so much homeless crime and so on, as a business person, I would find it hard to make an investment in our downtown without the proper safety features put together, and a plan that we can really look at. If you've seen the old plan of the theater, there was supposed to be restaurants and so on in front of the theater, and I'm surprised the theater is still there. But and now just recently, the fire that we've had, I commend us to keep working on a plan, and I know there's a lot of money invested in these plans, but once you have a plan, you need people to implement it. You need a development agency that's out there recruiting businesses and bringing people in and giving them incentives to open their businesses downtown. And I don't see that happening in our city, and I don't think it's happened in quite some time.
So, I mean, Vice Chair Quill, thank you very much for those comments. Now, what I've been told is we can't really attract businesses into the city because we don't have a general plan. So now we have a general plan. I am done with excuses. We can say the reason why we don't have something or the other. Now we are at a point where we have delivered all those important documents, general plan, we have a housing element, we have a development code that is being currently looked at, we have a downtown specific plan, we have all these things. So as far as I'm concerned, we are ready. Now, to your earlier comment, there was a time, if you remember downtown Long Beach, just, by Ocean Boulevard, you don't want to be caught in that area at night because it was invaded by gangs and all kinds of things. Well, downtown Long Beach today is probably one of the highest real estate value that you could see, in that area, South Bay area, in a long while. So it does take time, and it begins with a dream. You have a dream. This is what we want. My concern is that we stick to it. If we don't stick to it, we're not going to get the results that we want. We have the plan. What we did before, I understand the unhoused population disrupted, but the only way to start getting them out of the downtown area is by bringing in development. When there is development and when there is vibrancy in the downtown area, I mean, you see all this kind of, we push these kind of things to the outskirts. And yes, there will be conversations with business owners. There's currently conversations right now with some downtown groups who want, they're concerned about parking and they're concerned about security. They want to see that, and they're trying to set up some kind of a district just for a particular number of businesses whereby they pay an assessment and they can use those funds to do patrol of the downtown area, escort their clients from, the car park to the businesses. So things like that shows an investment into what they see to be the future of the San Bernardino downtown. We can't give up. We just can't give up.
I'm not suggesting we give up, but what I'm suggesting is looking back in the past and what worked and what didn't work. And does this plan include a department that is actually marketing or finding businesses to bring into downtown? Or is there a Main Street event that is quite a few events that are somebody organizing all these events?
So as far as that is concerned, we have our Economic Development Department. We have a Parks and Recreation Department. The Parks and Recreation Department is the one that's in charge of doing all the events, the community events in the downtown that you do see, or anywhere else in the cities through the Parks and Recreation Department. We have an Economic Development Agency, which is going to be responsible for some of these relationships with business owners, attracting businesses to the downtown area. But these things take time. What I think the first thing we need to do is make sure that we stick to what is in the plan. What may have worked in the past when this was the all-American city of the 70s, I see people lamenting about, you just mentioned it earlier, the Woolworth building. As I watched that building up in flames from my office, I could not believe my eyes. A number of times we've tried to secure that building and it kept getting broken into. When there's vibrancy in the downtown, there's activity in the downtown, there are people milling about in the downtown, there's no room for vagrancy to exist. And that is what we want to work on, one business at a time. And I think once we're able to do that, we provide them with ample security. The city manager is looking at funding sources in addition to what we currently have. So the goal is to revitalize, because this is the heart of where we should have those activities. Once we can ignite that interest in the downtown area, it will spread into other parts of our city. And I know there's certain wards that want certain things, but I think it all starts with just one.
Does this downtown development plan have an area in it which streamlines permit process, fast permitting for an individual that wants to go into business, or do they go through the standard process just like everybody else?
It would depend. The policy to streamline doesn't necessarily have to be related to the downtown specific plan.
Right, an ombudsman person or somebody working in the city that can assist these developers would be a tremendous benefit for San Bernardino.
Yes, that position currently does exist. That position was created when the city was going to go into expanding its one-stop permitting center. So that position is still there. We haven't done that yet. We're still using our current location to welcome people to the city. It's not appropriate. Nobody thinks it is appropriate. But again, where it's a kind of a catch-22. Which one do you do first? But I can guarantee you that the day that somebody knocks on my door and saying we're bringing business down to downtown, we're going to roll out the red carpet.
Okay. We just need to let everybody know and let the marketing people know that our doors are open.
They are.
And you can get a permit right away to do any kind of business.
Absolutely.
All right.
No
thank-
no strings attached, as long
Okay.
as it's.
Okay, been
Yeah.
down that road. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Commissioner Pratt?
Is there any city ordinance that regulates the percentage of our commercial retail space, that a certain percentage must be revenue generating, so that we don't oversaturate our city with non-revenue generating nonprofits? I mean, being the county seat, we have, we have services here, and I'm just concerned that there's a lot of people with their hands out that may not be doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing for this community, right? So,
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's a kind of a
Yeah.
broad question, I guess.
It is, but I don't think we can legally say that a certain percentage of our community must be revenue generating. And I can also tell you that there are several Assembly bills and Senate bills that encourage these kind of, whatever you want to call them, to come into our community. And some of them we don't even know anything about because they don't come through the city. They could come through the county, and they don't have to report to us that they are here. But having said that, there's a realization that we need to generate revenue in this city. It's very, very important. We don't have the luxury of collecting property tax. So we are a sales tax driven community. And that's where we make the difference. If there ever happens to be a decline in our ability to actually attract revenue generating businesses into the city, you're going to see a decline in all areas of the way we organize. I can talk to our attorneys to see if we can, have some kind of legislation. I don't know how legal that would be. That would say maybe in a specific area to designate the percentage of revenue generating businesses must be X, Y, Z or whatever. I don't know how legal that is, but we can ask our attorneys to look into something like that. I mean, it's a good idea so that we don't use every single available property in the city for non-tax generating social service agencies in our community. Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sanchez Lopez?
I agree fully with what Commissioner Quill said. I have not seen or heard anything happening down the downtown area in terms of incentives or in drawing developers or businesses at all. And you say it will take time. But the person before you also said it will take time. And the person before you, as I've been on this commission for almost 12 years, and just this past weekend, we had a fire at the Woolworths building in downtown San Bernardino. So it's going to take time isn't good enough anymore. The time should be now. There should be something. And if you say that we have an economic development agency, well, maybe we need to have the economic development agency here to tell us what they're doing, if they're actually doing anything.
Commissioner Lopez, what you said is true. When I say it takes time, I am not just kind of throwing those words out. What I think the most important obstacle San Bernardino has is the image that we have. When I say it takes time, we need to change our image. We need to change our image to reflect the fact that we're not a community that is overrun by unhoused population. We have to change our community to reflect the fact that, we have specific goals and objectives as to what we would like to see. We're beginning to see on 5th, we're beginning to see some, a few retail activities here and there, but at the same time, you don't want a community of just drive-through restaurants and fast food restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. There is a time and place for those kinds of things. But I think we need to think beyond that and start formulating a strategy whereby we can attract some very meaningful development. But we have to overcome We have to overcome the city's reputation as a place where nothing good happens.
That was what the downtown specific plan was for, to design something.
It did.
And when I say, well, the time is now, we should be designing something. We should be strategizing what business should be coming into the city
Right.
and so forth. So
Yeah.
the time is now.
Yeah, I mean, the plan is there. I mean, the plan is there. We have made this a very user-friendly downtown-specific plan. We're bringing in businesses whereby we're eliminating some of the obstacles. We're eliminating excessive parking requirements. We're bringing buildings closer to the street. We are increasing density. So the framework is there. We just need somebody to believe in the fact that we actually have made a turn, and we're going to change the trajectory of this community.
Thank you, Commissioner Galande.
I was thinking about what you had mentioned about the county coming in. They do. They can come in and just take over and set up shop somewhere when the public doesn't know about that oftentimes. My question is, where can we find out how many buildings are county-owned versus city-owned buildings?
That's a fairly easy research. We can just go through the records to see which buildings the county owns and which
Yeah.
buildings the city owns. I know the buildings that we own in the downtown area. I just don't know which buildings the county owns. But not only who owns the building, but who utilizes the building for services.
Right.
Sometimes, my housing department doesn't even know that the county is housing certain kinds of people, and state law protects those kinds of enterprises. So even if we know, it's like, we know we can't touch them. But I think, again, once we start doing something, that is invigorating, that is vibrant in a downtown area, I think we're going to see, things just kind of falling out. At least if we can just claim our downtown back,
Yes.
I think we would have made a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. My biggest fear is that we have, because there's a lot of money with social services and with homeless services and whatnot, it's profitable.
It is.
And so you have a lot of investors that see that and they know it's guaranteed funds that are going to come in.
Easy.
So my biggest fear is that we have people that come in, they buy the building, and then they turn it into one of these types of facilities. And then how is that going to, of course, help us as the city?
I know. I mean,
So-
not only that, they can even turn around to the county and ask for funding. They ask for
Yes.
CDBG. We need this, we need that. So I think it's going to be a two-pronged approach. My recommendation to the housing division is, any kind of request for those kind of funding, I think we should take a very close look at them, especially when in a core downtown area of the city. We want to encourage vibrancy. And we need to talk to people who we think will bring that to the city, rather than just successive agencies that
Thank you.
they take funding and then they turn around and they don't provide the services, and in the meantime we're saddled with them.
Thank you.
I don't know if we're the only city that faces that problem, but I think we are a good target for that.
Thank you. I preface that because the rumor was, I listened to a lot of things, and there was a rumor out there that someone was trying to take over the Radisson Hotel for that purpose. And that really, the red flag was up. I'm like, we cannot afford to have the Radisson Hotel turn into a homeless shelter right in the middle of downtown. That's not going to encourage anyone to come to the city of San Bernardino.
Absolutely. To me, it makes absolutely no sense. And there are other things that are being discussed that I cannot speak to publicly, but I will definitely put my foot down when it came to that. We can do better than that.
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Carloni?
Well, I'm pleased that the general plan is done, basically, and I think we can move forward. I think you guys are doing a good job. I think the key is, like Larry said, the redevelopment is going to have to be very strong, and it would be nice to have them show up here and tell us how they're going to market everything and what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they've been shopping for a director for quite a long time now. Again, they can't find one because most redevelopment and most economic development departments either operate out of the community development department like it was before a certain city manager decide to split, or they are with the city manager's office. So you would have a manager of economic development that works either at the city manager's office or within community development department. So I don't know which direction the city is going to go with that, and I think the sooner we can resolve that issue, the better we are in being able to actually have a strategy, going out and actively doing some economic development recruitment.
Well, I think now, since we got a general plan, now you can go shop for that person because they're going to read it, they're going to like it, and then they feel they can actually do something.
Commissioner Garcia.
I just wanted to mention, as part of the downtown specific plan, I think it'd be something to consider as part of the planning to maybe consider a state-of-the-art centralized city hall. We've heard that from many community residents. You go to City of Palm Springs, City of Riverside, City of Ontario, they all have new city hall, city clerk, all centralized. I had to pull a permit today. I had to go from one building to another building, and it's not very time efficient.
No,
And
no, I mean,
we need a that's where we need to begin. We need to begin with downtown.
Yeah, that's what I talked about as having a one-stop permit center, and that was the vision. But the question is, where? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be back at the Black Tower? Is it going to be somewhere else? There's a lot of moving parts, and we haven't really sat down and made a solid decision. If you talk to some community members, they say, we have a city hall. Why don't we go back to the Black Tower? Why don't we renovate it? Why don't we move back there? Because all departments would be able to fit into that building. You got your planning commission, city council chambers on the ground floor. You got your offices on other floors. And those of you who were here when that city hall was functional, you go to the third or the fourth floor. That's you have a counter. It was normal. That's the expectation, but structural deficiencies with that building. They said everybody has to move out. Everybody moved out. We spread out. Right now we've got administrative offices in the Gold Tower. Our office is right here, and so it's kind of all over the place. I mean, the vision you have is not different. It's just implementing that vision and have somebody write the check to say, okay, we are going to commit ourselves to doing something about it. We're going to commit ourselves to renovating our old city hall and use it. It's in a downtown area. Some people would prefer that. Some people would say, okay, well, use the Harris building, remodel the Harris building and make it a new city hall. That's another option. So there's quite a few discussions going on. I don't really know what our city council would really want to do, but you guys are appointees of city council members. I think you should bounce off any ideas you have with them to see what do they want to do? What is the community saying? My job is to execute whatever it is, the direction that comes out of the city council or the planning commission as far as what we're going to do. But either way, it's going to cost money. And if the question is we're reluctant to spend because we don't know what the future holds, well, we're going to be in a holding pattern for quite a while.
Thank you. Maybe we could have this on next month's agenda also, just one more time for some good discussion. Yeah, it's
For
a
the
downtown specific plan. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll put it on the calendar.
Are there planning commissioner reports or announcements? I'll start to my left. Commissioner Lopez, no. Commissioner Garcia? Vice Chair Quill? No. Commissioner Galande?
None.
Thank you. Commissioner Pratt?
None.
Commissioner Carloni?
None.
Thank you. Do we have a director's report this evening?
Madam Chair, with your package, that letter you were referring to was the letter we received from the Illumination Foundation, indicating that they have vacated the premises and that they're not coming back, and they fully support any kind of revocation decisions that the Planning Commission would make on that property. And the reason why you don't have revocation on your agenda today is because of a noticing issue. We missed the deadline to notice it for 10 days, and so we could be bringing that back for a formal revocation of that CUP if you, I think I sent an email to the commissioners regarding that. The city attorney indicated that a revocation hearing is actually an opportunity for an applicant to have their rights exercised. In this particular case, they have given up that right. So the attorney is saying we can administratively revoke, we can do a revocation administratively, but if the Planning Commission wants to have a hearing on revocation of that CUP, we can do that as well. Albert?
I have nothing to add.
I have a question. In the, and I guess this is for our city attorney, if we were to go forward with the revocation of that CUP, then we have a good record of it, correct? So the record we have now of them basically walking away allows them possibly to come back? Is that what I understand?
No. If we do it administratively, we write to them and we say, we heard from you in writing that you're not there, that you have no intention of using your CUP, and that you support revoking the CUP. Therefore, with this writing, your CUP is revoked, and that will be included in the file. The other option is to do a public hearing and do it that way. I don't think you need to do that, but if you prefer, we could do that.
My concern is that we have some sort of a record process of what we went through, so that we know that when they visit us a year from now, we'll know what we had to go through and how they handled their conditional use permit and so on. So that was the only reason I was thinking maybe it'd be more appropriate if we went through the right channels than to just drop it. So just a thought.
We have their request in writing. We would respond to them in writing. That would be the proof. If they came a year from now and said, oh, we want it back, we would say, no, we have it right here. You said you wanted to give it up. And that's really the distinction, because they're giving up the CUP, which is a legally, technically different thing than revocation. You can give up your permit. And if you give up your permit, we don't have to go through revocation hearing. Revocation hearing is if the city is trying to take your right away. If you want to give up your right, we don't have to go through revocation hearing. And so that's why I recommended we don't go through the revocation hearing. We just have it documented in the file. Their request to us and our acknowledgement back to them in writing that per their request, the CUP is now revoked.
Have we responded back to them in writing?
Madam Chair, yes.
Okay.
That response letter will be included in your agenda for the next meeting, or sent to you by blind copy. That letter was sent out to them. And they responded to the letter by saying, we agree, we are still not going to challenge any decision the city makes because
Okay.
we've moved on. So they have moved on.
I would like to see it in the next package, just so it's more transparent for the public.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Mhm.
Are there any other discussions under Director's Report?
None, Madam Chair, none that I could think of at this time.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and adjourn the meet. Oh,
So what's the final decision? Are we going to have a hearing, or are we going to?
no. The letter.
The letter's going to be fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so, yeah.
Are we all agreeing to that?
Would you like to take a poll on
Yeah, I think we
what you
should.
would do? Because if it hadn't been for the noticing error, you would we have a staff report, we have a resolution revoking it the way we did with the one on Ostrom's.
Right.
But, so,
Okay, I'll go ahead and take a straw poll that we are okay with just the letter that was received by the planning department and a response letter that was provided by the city attorney's office. Commissioner Sanchez Lopez? So in the director's report, we had the letter that, that they were revoking or that they were terminating their CUP. Are you okay with that, or would you like to see a more public hearing? You're okay with the letter? Thank you. Commissioner Ivan Garcia?
Yes.
Yes, you're okay with the letter? Thank you. Commissioner Galante?
I'm okay with the letter as well.
Commissioner Pratt?
Okay with the letter.
Commissioner Carloni?
I'm okay with the letter.
I am also okay with the letter, so there we go. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, with that, if there's nothing, yes.
Oh, yeah, one more item. Just as far as the downtown specific plan and the general plan elements itself, there'll be a time when we want to bring that to the Planning Commission for formal action. The EIR for this entire thing runs concurrently with with the general plan and the downtown specific plan, and that is being reviewed at this particular time. So that is going to determine the timing of bringing those other things in front of you, but it would still, I would have sent each one of you the general plan, all the elements of the general plan. It's a voluminous reading, and it's, I don't know if you want to take the time to actually go through that, but maybe what I can do is for the next subsequent planning commission meetings, I wish we had more meetings in a month than just one, that we kind of go through some of the elements and kind of give you highlights of what these elements you talk about, so that it doesn't become a mystery as to what is this element for and what are the changes that we've made. What you would find to be most interesting would be the land use element, and that's why we've made the most changes. We've changing some zoning designations, we're changing some density requirements, and so on and so forth. So maybe we start with the land use element itself, and then from there we can talk about some of the other elements.
I think that's a good idea, and perhaps maybe a staff report just highlighting the major changes would also be helpful for staff.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Anything else?
Thank you. No. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 7:43. Thank you.
Thank you.